do sort of a makeshift thing because I'm always just doing it off the cart. So hopefully this is not too awkward and you can still see enough of the cards there. I might just bring this a little bit closer just so that you can see the cards a bit better. All right, so I pulled some cards that are off to the side here. I'm just going to adjust a little bit more. Give me half a second here. It's just a makeshift thing for now. Okay, so I did pull some cards, and like I said, some of them are off to the side here. We'll start off with sort of the main energies that I pulled. This is a different deck here as well. And then we'll kind of work our way towards the other cards here. Okay, so, and then I'll do some of the tarot here as well, which again, I have some of the cards pulled off to the side. Some of them are questions in regard to what you fear. Others are questions in regards to what is considered an obstacle for you, and advice cards as well. And basically what you have going for you. So there's definitely sort of a mixed kind of feeling that I get for this read. All right, so basically when we're talking about the High Priestess, that definitely speaks to elements of mystery and coming across as a little more aloof. It also has that element, as I usually say, and again, I should just mention, you're not all making decisions on a Monday or a Tuesday and that kind of thing, so this is a general read, take it as it resonates, but this is for the overall month. Some of you may be in the energy of this a little further out. Others may be going into this energy. Others may be sitting right in it currently. But either way, the main energies out here. Again, this is a different deck here, which is the Enchanted Love Tarot. Even though it's not really specific to love, just the cards have more of a general meaning. So again, it's not really pertaining to love specifically. The High Priestess energy to me gives off the feeling that you are coming in a little bit more mysterious this month. There's not a lot of loud energy here. The High Priestess does still come off as somebody who's quite knowledgeable, has a lot of information, although may not be coming forward with the information. The High Priestess is also somebody who's very intuitively based. So again, anything around that energy is really where I see you're at. In addition to that, I mean, this could be as well things along the lines of some feminine energy that may be coming up here as well. But either way, I feel like if we are talking about a relationship, it's a sign that you need to listen to your intuition. There's something here about, you know, a clouded, well, trying to find a way to improve the situation. What's the best way to improve the situation? Because this is not about inspiration so much as it is about inner knowledge, what's right for you. And, you know, and again, you don't all have to be in romantic relationships. This can be just relationships to you that are in a pressing situation. You know, something that's been a little bit challenging here, but it definitely feels like a lot of this is relationship oriented. There's some challenges, there's some difficulty around that. But I just feel like it's really a time of you just needing to relax and heal. It may be that you're trying too hard for something, for an outcome, you know, but you have to let it just come to you is really what the cards basically say. So focusing on the things that help you to, because the High Priestess is also that card of not dealing with things in the mundane way. It's really about dealing with things in a way where you have inner guidance, so you're going deep, you know, and you're going beyond anything that is dealing with the words. So this could be dealing with things that are outside of your normal situation or route. So this would be something along the lines of, let's say, if you weren't an extremely religious person, you start to delve into religion. If you weren't someone who was interested in poetry, you might be veering toward poetry. I'm not saying these are the things specifically, but it's something that you are doing that's just a little bit out of character for you to find some of your answers. Again, when you feel that kind of information coming through, I feel like it will make you feel more attractive. It'll make you feel like you're more on top of things. We also have that Queen of Wings here as well. So again, I'm just going to do an overview and then we'll kind of go into it a little more specifically. But the Queen of Wings is still, it's a queen, lots of queen energy here, lots of resources, lots of information. Could be dealing with more feminine energy also coming in here as well, or certainly influenced by a lot of feminine energy. But If you have a question, it would be, especially when it's relating to, it's right under the priestess. This is that energy of Queen of Wings says, maybe is kind of what's coming through. It's somebody who's analyzing things to sort of make sense of their life. So again, if you're unmarried or you're wondering about a relationship, maybe is kind of where things are at. Sorry, I just see all the comments down there. And hello, Devansha. I'm very well. I'm up a little bit late tonight, so I just thought I just felt in the mood to read. So this one again is for Cancer, but anytime you guys have questions, for sure, Devansha, throw it up there. I'll do it at the end if you had any, if you were interested. But if not, I'll just carry on. So again, this energy feels like you're doing something a little bit, something out of your normal, and able to figure out an answer for yourself. Again, lots of feminine energy here, lots of mature energy, and very well thought out kind of thinking. It's almost like the qualities are very direct to sort of demystify some of the clouded areas in your mind. So you're trying to, I don't feel like you're confused about, like, it's like you're trying to get rid of any of the superstitious ideas or anything that seems like it is, clouding your thoughts. You're trying to get to the root of the matters, stay rational, trying not to overwhelm yourself, but yet try to find some sense of independence in your thoughts. So it's kind of along that line. Again, it's still giving me the energy, because the analyst is someone who is giving off that energy of really thinking things through, really wanting to get some answers. And that's right under the high priestess. So there is a fair amount of energy here that kind of speaks to, just speaks to that. Again, doing things in a little non-traditional way, because I feel like, you've gone through some wounds with relationships specifically. And again, doesn't have to be romantic, can be just on a general basis, but it just feels like there is something here with your head, your heart, that you're kind of putting off the side because it makes you feel a little bit of uneasiness, and you're just trying to reduce that down. So again, it's trying to get wise counsel, whether you're from yourself or someone else, but I feel like you may be meeting somebody private as well. But it's just something there. Again, there's like a little bit of a mysterious element that is coming in here, where you're trying to seek emotional intelligence, and I feel like that you could be getting this through a mentor or somebody who's quite wise. Yeah, I'll do that totally at the end for sure, Devansha. I just thought I would get this out of the way, because if I, the usual, if I throw it up there, it might confuse if I don't stay with the main theme. But either way, I just feel like if you did have a question about some kind of an issue here, in regards to a relationship, it does come through as sort of a maybe. So it may be that you're just not quite ready for something as well. Become cards here that sort of speak to still being in healing mode. And again, lots and lots and lots of feminine energy here. And again, when we get to the Queen of Gems, now this is the nurturer. So you've got a lot of intuition, really analyzing your situation, and also the nurturer. So you could be dealing with somebody who is representing as, somebody that you're very drawn to. This could also be somebody who is, very supportive, family member, that kind of thing. But either way, I feel like this is somebody that does take on a lot of responsibility, and certainly has places a lot of emphasis on knowledge, as well as, beauty and things that, are really more current. So the nurturer is really somebody who really makes, good use of the things, the resources around them, and they like to present things in a certain way, and, have things kind of a certain standard. So I feel like it's a little bit of that. So again, whether this is you or someone else, but it does seem like there's something here about a lot of female energy here, or, something that you're relying on, that's quite supportive energy. And I feel like that's very protective for you at this time. Because again, there's lots of intuition, lots of really thinking out, putting a lot of time and energy into your thoughts, but there's also a real receptive energy with Queen. That's where I think things are at for you right now. So you might be coming into contact with people, through social connections that are more feminine, very thoughtful, successful people, because these are mature energies. But this can also be a lot of socializing energy that's here as well. Thanks, Devancha. I really appreciate that. As always, thank you, thank you. But anyway, as I said, this is also kind of motherly energy as well. So this could be coming from quite literally a mother or family, again, supportive energy. But either way, it just feels like there's something here, again, that this is more of a yes energy. So it's like whatever you're having some debate about in your mind, there's something that's kind of moving, inching it forward to a yes. But right now, it starts out as a maybe, is kind of your current energy. But again, it feels like there's more socializing, perhaps even with more energy here. But again, there's a lot more beauty around you and a lot more, just a lot more positive energy. Like I said, positive, supportive energy. So when we get to the card Strength, and I'm going to tell you, it came out in the other deck as well. Again, a little more specific to another area of your life for the question that I was asking. But the main cards out, just as you're identifying energy, these ones are major arcana. The areas that seem really highlighted here is that you're going inward. You're spending an awful lot of time in your own thoughts and really trying to, sort of figure intuitively. And as well, we also have the Chariot, but they're both very, very empowering energies, very strong, significant energies in this read for February. And again, anything that follows with wisdom and deep intuition definitely, moves things ahead with the Chariot. And the Chariot is that card that speaks to, and I'm going to bring that forward because I don't think I showed it there. It leads to a lot of determination to make something happen. But again, it feels like it's still in that space of healing. So right now, we are looking at the Nurture, and that is followed up as well by the card of Strength. So the Strength card is the follow-up card as the, and again, this is just the card that is your clarifier. So it's not really the main energy out, but it definitely supports the nurturing energy. So the nurturing energy is basically saying, there is strength in that relationship. There's strength in that connection. There's something of value that you can obtain to help you, move forward. But again, there's still so much very feminine energy here that I feel like it could be more than one person that is kind of playing a role here. Now, the Strength card, again, that one is also, it's a card of having the perseverance to get through something here as well. Sorry, just bringing it forward here a little bit. But again, that Strength card certainly does indicate that there is something here. It's an 8, so it definitely balances things out here as well, and it's almost like something comes full circle. But either way, I would just say keep moving forward here, because a lot of this energy is really strong. Even the cards that are further out, because this is where you embody strength, and it's the infinity sign with the number 8. So there's something here that is somebody's really well made. Somebody is a lot stronger than they give themselves credit for. Even the key to creating a relationship, is by working on yourself. So if you know yourself well enough, you don't have to wait for somebody to fill the void. It's basically, you come to the table with something, they're coming to the table with something, and you sort of meet in the middle and negotiate things out. So, it has to be in a space of growth. Otherwise, one person will always feel like there's a lack because there's no ability to contribute, relatively evenly. And sometimes it'll be 70-30 and so on. But the point is that it needs to be in a space of growth. And both people have to be on board to grow, not just one. Otherwise, there's too much uneven expectation. But anyway, the Strength card overall is, again, the key to unlocking things. It does have a lot of passion, a lot of compassion. It also has a lot of attraction, drawing things to you. You might be it could be dealing with Leo energy here as well. You might be looking a lot more attractive as well to someone else in this situation in the month of February, because as I said, there's a lot of feminine energy here, but overall, I just feel like this could be a good friend as well and sharing the ups and downs, but it's to be a really patient connection. And there's just a lot of understanding between the two. So again, feels like there's more than one energy here, but I definitely feel like whatever that connection is, it's one of strength, and it definitely is a vital connection. So again, there's something here about accepting wounds and weaknesses and moving forward in a relationship. And it's one of reassurance and compassion, and it's where you're able to understand and express yourself, not force yourself in any irregular, aggressive way, just because it feels like the relationship here is just so compassionate with this energy of the queens. And there is it Joby. And so now we're moving into the, sorry guys, one more second here, just doing a little adjustment. Okay, so now we're moving into the Chariot card. And again, as I mentioned, the Chariot card is that energy of really having, a fairly secure direction. It is moving forward. It can also be about a vehicle, but we'll get to that. I prefer to do that one more so with the regular tarot, but even though there's a lot of similarities in this particular deck. But either way, like I said, the Chariot is that energy of determination to get something done. And it is followed up by, the Princess of Gems, which is, that is actually going to be the energy I feel is what it's clarifying. So it almost feels like the ingenue, Princess of Gems. Yeah, lots of feminine energy here. So it's like you're trying to get a sense of direction here, and I feel like the answer is go for it. So if you're not really sure, it's like you're sitting in a position of maybe I'll do this, and then it goes toward yes, and then it feels like there's an actual movement in the direction of this situation. So if we're talking about a relationship, it would be, kind of a true real love, like a real love. Doesn't have to be necessarily romantic, but again, you have real love or compassion for somebody, and it feels like your focus is on this in a very deep way. But there's big improvements, I feel, that are possible in ways that you can't quite see. And again, that's because the Hierophant is also here. But this card does indicate allow yourself to be distracted or sidetracked, and it's better to, if you procrastinate, you might lose an opportunity in this situation, is really what I would say there. If it does present an actual vehicle, it just feels like you are in more of the driver's seat here as well. And there could be some travel up ahead by vehicle, that kind of thing. But either way, it would be some kind of a short sort of trip, I would say. But either way, it just still speaks of strength, and it still speaks of you having the right ability that fits the right situation at this time. So whatever it is you're striving toward, I feel that you'll be able to attain it. And it feels like you are really getting a better handle of your willpower, your self-control, and your self-confidence. So I think that is really the direction of this read so far. Sorry, I was just reading the... Oh, thanks very much, Joby. Appreciate that. So now we're getting into the clarifier here as well, which is Princess of Gems. And again, there's just so much energy here that's quite positive. It feels like you are in a space of almost getting comfortable with some spaces that you had once visited, but, maybe put off to the side, you weren't quite sure of, just because of the nature of the cards. Like it's a little bit of back and forth. But either way, we're now on to Princess of Gems, and that one is, again, a full-on yes card. So this is also kind of symbolizes, somebody who's responsible and trustworthy. Oh, actually, hold on a sec here. With the Princess of Gems, yeah, the Princess of Gems is still more that softer energy. So this is not so much the builder as it is, but it's still a yes card, and it's still very positive, and it's still dealing with a younger person, I would say here as well. But it just feels like this particular energy is giving life to something. So not afraid to, put in the work. This is somebody who likes to communicate, really delves into, um, how do I put that? Areas of life where they can do some good, where they feel like they can be heard and make a difference in life, that kind of thing. They really like to involve themselves, wholeheartedly in the spirit of things. So um, they are a little more on the practical side as well. So it's more along the lines of, if they only had a seed and a seed and a few things to put something together, they would make use just of what they had, and they push through and persevere. They're not This is not somebody who's really concerned with a lot of material things. So I feel like this is either you're going to have an encounter with somebody like this. If not yourself, then it would be somebody who's very, sensual and passionate and comfortable with, just being down to earth, somebody who's really just very easygoing. And I feel like that is somehow, if for those that are dealing with a social aspect of their, of February, it feels like that socially is going to help them to kind of, find some sense of ease. But again, this would be a very loyal, supportive relationship or connection. In terms of work or career, it would be more of a hands on sort of business or doing something that would be, possibly for charity, or doing something of hobby, something dealing with home renovation, anything like that, or gardening, or anything that deals with, really loving life and kind of putting yourself into whatever you are. Whatever is in front of it, not necessarily specific to, what your passions are, your hobbies. It's almost like they just deal with what they have, and they just make the best out of every situation that they kind of put themselves into. That's kind of the energy of those cards. So now I'm just going to pull out the other ones here. I'm just going to bring them forward here. Okay, so these ones, this is kind of what you are sort of fearing, basically. Now, the Fool energy, normally, the Fool energy has that sort of take of free spirit, adventure, likes to really get out there and, yeah, just really likes to get out there and, trust the process. Like they just want to try something new. I feel like there's a certain sense of restlessness, that you're undergoing, but even still, despite that, wanting to, go into something new, or, just try something a little bit different, it just feels like there is a sense of renewal. Like there's something around the heart space, around a relationship, where something just feels like things are opening up again for you. And I feel like that is helping you to share a little bit more of yourself. And whether that's in some small way, communicating, this is still that energy. This is what you actually fear, though. So when you fear something, I mean, normally this would be innocence and opening up to something and really engaging, optimistic and, just feeling protected and taking a chance in a situation. But what you fear here is, looking foolish. You may be looking at yourself in a sense that you don't feel like you can trust yourself. You may be feeling as though something is working against you, and you may not be, or you may come off as a fool, something like that. I do feel a lot of energy around relationships as a fearful kind of situation for you, and it feels like you don't have a lot of faith in that area, and it may be that you felt you didn't make good decisions. And so I feel like your trust is a bit of the issue here. But again, and able to experience something, you almost have to explore it in a different way. So you wouldn't want to take old baggage into a situation, even with a situation that you are going back into. If this is a whole new situation, you certainly don't want to bring in old baggage. So you really have to do the work on yourself first before you can move forward. But again, just to kind of go back to what the Fool is, it just feels like there's some energy here that you need to kind of open up to, again, and almost relearn something, like relearn something about relaxing and loosening up to, re-engage. Because like I said, there's some cards here that, and I'll bring them forward here in just a minute, but it just feels like there's a part of you that's sort of cut off, not so optimistic. But again, the Fool card is still telling you, these are the things that you fear. You fear the new adventure. You fear going forward, with something that you don't have a lot of knowledge or security around. So, like I said, it just feels like you fear letting go, or maybe letting someone in, letting them know too much about you. But yeah, Fool, as fear in tarot is really more, self-perpetuating. It's not really directly something as a blockage, although you could make it one if you really wanted to. But again, it's still things of fear of letting go, fear of looking foolish, it's fear of losing a certain amount of stability, fear of how, you'll be seen. Like I said, it's also fear of starting over. It's all of those kinds of things that come up with this card. There's a lot around it. So it's almost like starting over, you're afraid of kind of leaving behind your comfort zone and pursuing something new. So I just feel like that is a lot of these things are what are kind of sitting in your head at this time. But again, worrying about making mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. There's no sense in trying to worry about it because you're going to make mistakes. That's how you're supposed to fail fast. Doesn't matter if it's in business or success or relationships. You have to fail fast to learn who you are, what you want. It's just try to let it go as quickly as possible and start to know what you're looking for. What do you value? What's important to you? Is this other person also sharing those same values? If they don't, it's highly, contrasting, then obviously that's a situation that's for fun, and leave it at that, for fun. But either way, it's just a card of you being afraid to really trust. And of course, when it's followed up by the Moon card, I mean, it's the same sort of deal there. The Moon as fear, there's a lot of things that you may not actually be bringing to the surface, and maybe you don't want other people to see, or part of yourself that you may be dealing with. Maybe you felt like you have not really worked through some of the deception or the lies or the things that you had pain over, those uncertainties, the unknowns. It's all of that. It just feels like there's still something here about, being confused and sort of stuck in kind of some degree of illusion where it's misleading you and it's representing as fear, but it's not, it's only fear because you're locked into your mindset. So again, it's you misleading yourself, thinking that because there's a sense of fear that you might be tricked or taken advantage of. And in all fairness, you may very well be. But how do you safeguard the basic stability or stable things around yourself that are important to you, so as not to leave everything, put yourself in complete disarray, or you know what I mean, at a complete disadvantage. So it's like, what kind of what could you accept that would be okay to work on right now, so it's not a trigger, because if you get into, like I said, if you're not really fully resolved with another aspect of yourself, that will become a trigger later, and somebody else will be looking at you going, I have no idea why you're freaking out. But in actual fact, it's a trigger that you have not quite resolved yet. So you have to face those fears, the hidden emotions, deal with the uncertainties. Again, there's things online all over the place on how to deal with anxiety. Try something different, meditate, do something that kind of builds you up so that you are stronger, so you don't go into a relationship with full weaknesses and waiting for someone else to save you. Sorry, I was just reading your comment there, Joby. Oh, yeah, don't worry, guys. No, I'm going to do the questions at the very end. I was just doing this one for Cancer first, and then I do questions at the end. But yeah, I just feel like you're afraid to deal with some hidden emotions right now. And again, I feel like you've got some false perceptions or ideas that may be kind of working over time and make you feel as though you're losing control. So, how do you bring yourself back to that level of stability? You have to do it one little step at a time. So, you kind of rationalize out your emotions. There's emotional triggers, and therefore you have to figure out ways to talk yourself down. Is this person really being maligning, or are they just having a bad day? Is this person really seeing me in a poor light, or is it that I just don't feel really good about myself today? Like, you know what I mean? Talk yourself down. Give somebody the benefit of the doubt. And if it starts to become a pattern, then you start to see that there might be some incongruencies that things won't work out. But either way, I just feel like this card next to the trust card with the Fool indicates that you're afraid of losing control. You're afraid of not being in control of your own emotions or having control over a situation, and you feel like you're kind of at the mercy of something that you don't understand. So this could also be emotional mood swings, instability that way. But either way, it's kind of emotionally charged, and it feels like it's a little bit much for you to handle. Now, the Five of Wings, anything that deals with a five definitely speaks to some kind of a change that needs to be, and again, this is still in around what you fear. You fear defeat. So, you obviously have some things to work through, I would say, and are still working through this, but these are your fears. So if you project a fear out to somebody, you're going to get that fear back in your face. So, be careful what you wish for in a relationship, because it will be something that you will have to face eventually. If you felt like you were never loved, then, and if you can't love yourself, somebody else is not going to be able to love you, because they won't see your value, because you don't see your own value. So it's things along that line. You have to be, if you don't find things to satisfy you, nobody else is going to be able to fill a big void. So again, sometimes it's not worth it until you work through your own stuff. But you can learn some valuable lessons by surrendering in small ways, to a process, so that you can learn some new things or help to fill in the gaps or the pieces. But don't overcomplicate the situation, by having too many people in the mix, but certainly take the time to sort of process and communicate your needs. It's things along that line. You don't want to act like a victim. You want to make sure that you're coming from a place of, figuring yourself out, so you have that emotional quotient. You have a pretty good idea of who you are, what you want, what you bring to the table, what you expect from someone else. How can you grow together? How can you mature the situation and level it up? Now we're on to Two of Gems. And of course, this is again stuff that you do fear. So you actually do have quite a few fears around change and growing through some of the more about losing control is what I would say. But again, the Two of Gems still kind of speaks to that energy of, learning to cope through constant change. So, and of course, life is always about constant change. Sometimes you can keep yourself really busy, which I tend to do myself, but you can keep yourself so busy that it's hard to focus on some other areas. But at the same time, if you're getting some things done, it's hard to let go of some of those things, because when you feel a certain sense of control when you're able to move forward with something. So focus on the important things and get those things done, that deal with yourself, versus dealing with doing a whole bunch of things for other people. You have to always bring it back into a place of empowerment where you start with you first. Allow yourself to be, who you want to be, instead of who you're being defined as outside of that. So it's about staying centered, being flexible, and really taking the time to figure you out. But again, there's also a variety of activities that kind of come into this space The Two of Gems is like the Two of Pentacles. So you're kind of you're alternating between activities and trying to figure out how to focus on, you juggle relationships, career, family, that kind of thing. But either way, I just feel like you might also be meeting somebody in an unusual circumstance that could also be possible here as well. But again, you do fear a lot of these elements here. So, and again, Four of Roses, it feels like you also don't feel like you're going to gain or have any respect. So there's something here about losing face or losing faith, and also not, getting the respect that you feel in some way you might be deserving of. But again, it has to come from within first. So I just feel like, of course, the Four of Roses, not only is it about respect, but it's also about, happy existing relationships, long, happy marriages, as things that are to be established, over a long period of time. So those are like weddings, engagements, and any kind of activity where there is some kind of celebratory kind of energy here. There might be something that's very important that you will be attending, but either way, this is about really kind of nurturing things that you might care about as well. But it's almost like these are the things that you feel are a little bit out of your space right now. But I would say that's not entirely true. But we'll figure out what else comes out here in just a few minutes here when we do some of the other few cards that come out. Okay, we're almost done, and then we go into just a few tarot. So the other ones that are coming out here, again, these were sort of obstacles for you. The cards that come out here as obstacles. Now, again, they're not really direct obstacles. They're actually pretty positive, except for the fact that, again, they're very strongly correlated to romantic relationships and things that, emotionally, I feel that you might not be ready for in some way, because it's like you feel like you might have to sacrifice too much of yourself, and there's a lot of independence here, but at the same token it's almost like you're fearing independence as well. So I just get kind of a mixture of things here, like you feel like you're not quite certain about definitely about relationships, but it's like you're anticipating future pain before it shows up, or the suffering before it's there. And again, this does represent as a young sensitive person, their heart rules over their head. And again, whether this is you or somebody else, this could be that incurable romantic, usually represents kind of the water sign energy. So I feel this could be you. But definitely it is also feeling too inexperienced, not ready for responsibilities that might come from a serious relationship. There is, wanting to communicate those sensitivities, those feelings, and sometimes writing romantic stories or doing something that, poems, anything that helps you to communicate any of those ideas or those fantasies or those things in your head. It helps you to sort of unleash that, and it becomes more of it almost unlocks the mind in a sense, once you're able to put something to paper. So it's like, don't keep yourself trapped in the mind, write it down, because then it actually becomes more of an unleashing of something that's pent up energy. Now, the Eight of Shells, and again, there's something here where it still feels like, these are the things that you consider kind of blockages for you, but they're all still very positive cards. So you're fearing positive things. Like, again, even with the card of sacrifice, this is still that energy of, needing to be more aware of who you are, physically, mentally, emotionally, and also, in knowing those things, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to negotiate? Because if it's something that you can't negotiate or sacrifice or move toward a little bit of flexibility, then there might be something there that you need to learn. So, but definitely I see something very strong here that you need to work through self-love and self-nurturing, because this can also represent some kind of dark night of the soul energy as well. So this is almost having more of a tendency to be too shy or withdrawn, fearing that you won't be taken seriously. It's things like that. This is kind of your blockage that are coming up. And again, even with the Nine of Gems, you know, it's like wanting to be independent, but there's a fear that there's too much that is not in place and able to do that. And again, all that energy really is take the first step forward, do something, do anything in the direction of the things that you're trying to strengthen. If you want to be more outgoing, do something that might put you in a position to be a little bit more outgoing. If you want to do something more physical to strengthen your body, do something every day, you know, 10 sit-ups or whatever it might be, and just keep adding on. Like this is just exploring. And then once you start to be consistent, you start to build a certain amount of momentum. And then there's also that sense of, I can, you know, you become less concerned about who you are and how you're showing up, and more about the process of, I desire to be stronger, so I am, and I do. You know what I mean? You just get into a pattern of, this is where I am, this is what I need to do, and then and here's my outcome. That's what I'm reaching for. And you're not too overly concerned about, how is everybody seeing me? How do they hear me? You know, because otherwise you just preoccupy yourself and you disempower yourself. So again, it's really just about building you into the space. Because again, this is where you sort of feel there's some fear. You know, things will improve dramatically though with this card. So the card of Nine of Gems is that card of being self-reliant over time and having a certain amount of independence and freedom. So, but it also is kind of that card of getting yourself outside and doing more outdoor activities. Learn about your body, like learn about the things that, you know, build your health, build your wealth. You know, how can you show up in more of your best self, you know, the best physical attributes, all of that. This is really a strong sense of who you can be, you know, and developing a strong sense of yourself, right? So this would be sticking to the plan of whatever it is success looks like to you in relationships, how success looks to you in physicality, you know, and how you want your body to be. And again, we're not aiming for perfect, we're aiming for progress. So this is where you've accomplished a lot, and this is the direction. This is what you fear right now, though, but this is the direction that you need to move in to overcome that fear. So now the last one's out would be, okay, so this one, this again is what you have sort of fearing. You fear there's a lot, and they're kind of repeating cards. It's like there's an energy of feeling stuck, an energy of feeling trapped, you know, an energy of not feeling as though you're willing to sacrifice or do anything that's going to, you know, put you in a space of, I don't know, it just feels like you're just not, even though there's a lot here that kind of speaks to becoming a lot more motivated and becoming a lot more ambitious, there's still a lot that you're working through with the moon energy. So again, I would still, you know, it just feels like there's a lot of emotional cards here, possibly even a little bit more on the emotional overwhelm. And I might even pull these other ones here forward just because. Give me 1 second here, guys. Just because, like I said, I'll pull those ones out here in a second. I'm just trying to organize myself. Okay, let's start with these ones. Okay, maybe before I jump right in there, let's just go right into the advice. So, okay, of course, the Star card is definitely, you know, all about you're in a healing space. That is a major card, major arcana. It definitely speaks to, you know, just take the time that you need, but not just, you're not reveling in it, you're not sitting in it. I do see cards of action. So again, it's create a plan. If you feel like you're weak in a certain area, do as much research as you can on that area. Start with one area and build around it and able to get past it. But the Star card is that energy of being optimistic and looking forward to something. You know, it's feeling like you're being healed in some way, and that everything is going to work out in some way here as well. Not without, you know, any kind of effort, but you're showing confidence regardless, and everything is working out in some way. So there's also, you know, just a reminder that you're on the right track, and that things are definitely in that space of, even though there's been a lot of disappointment, there is clarity coming in here with the Ace of Swords. So I just feel like doors are opening, and there's more of a there's just more on the horizon here for you. There's more to look forward to. Even in terms of any kind of serious illness, that kind of thing, I just feel like this is alternative therapies that you might be considering as well. But it's dealing with a lot of the subconscious because, again, we had that moon energy coming out like repeatedly. So you're dealing with a lot of subconscious fears, things that were trapping you, things that were keeping you stuck. Again, you're really trying to find the light. The moon is, means that you're sort of halfway through the process. Like you are still struggling, but it could be in around your ambitions, it's in around your stability, it's in around family, it's in around your foundation. Those are areas that you're really feeling stuck, trapped, and not really quite able to move. But you have all these positive cards coming out, even though you're feeling all this trapped energy. So we know it's more self imposed. And that's why you are closing yourself off. You're making the way difficult for yourself when really how you find the light, how you get past the fear is take the first step and the second step and the third step and all of that in the direction, lay out a plan, what it is that you want. Relationships are something, some of that's a little bit outside control for sure, but at this point, working on you is what's going to be what I see as the main energy here, because it's like you've got, the danger of falling, it could, because you've got, all this positive energy here, but it's like you don't even see it. You're projecting fears outward here. It's almost like you are sabotaging yourself to a certain extent, and it feels like if you just allowed yourself to, you know, focus on one area and kind of build on that, I feel like you will really see some clarity. You'll see the way forward. And especially when we've got the Ace of Swords here, the star again is the main card out here. So this could be, I'm going to do a bit of a career aspect of this too, but for right now, it just feels like there's a lot of emotional energy that you need to work through. So, but I do see improvement significantly in those areas, you know, but I mean, it just feels like everything is going to go better than expected, even though you're feeling like you're in a really heavy energy. So again, moon kind of reflects outward. It definitely has a certain element of mystery. You also have the high priestess in there as well, elements of mystery as well. So it feels like you're kind of, trying to work through little snippets of intuitive pieces and pulling them all together. So there is something there around, kind of that psychic link that might be kind of altering your reality, and you're feeling like you're deceived in some way. But again, you're getting clear on how to see the way through. Like even in terms of relationships, like I said, it feels like things are going through phases here for you. There's good, there's bad, definitely it's not all, it's improving, but a lot of this seems to be stemming from you and the things that you have to work through first. But either way, I just feel like even on spirituality sort of front of things, this is, everything is starting to deepen. You're starting to get flashes, you're starting to get some um, information that's going to help you to kind of clear the way through. The Four of Cups is that energy of feeling like you've missed the boat on something didn't really come through in the way that you'd hoped, feeling like everything isn't quite as you expected, feels like you could be rejecting someone here as well. But either way, it's discontent. It is not being happy with life's events. It is also in that space of feeling a little bit of self pity and dealing with some self-worth issues, not appreciating who you are. And if you don't appreciate who you are, nobody else will either. And it's not up for option. You have to really know who you are, and the only way to do that is build up yourself. And like I said, you never really know what you're capable of until you get out there, and then you're pushed, and then you're forced to, you're going to defend the things that you have the strongest value for, the strongest belief in, and then you really know what you're made of. If you didn't really care about something all that much and somebody knocks you down, you might stay down for a while longer. But when you really value it and it's something you believe in, you will stand up, you will fight for that. If you believe that it's wrong, that somebody is beaten in the street, you're gonna take measures to start to protect your, your neighborhood or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna go the extra measure. So either way, I just feel like with that Four of Cups energy, again, it feels like you're trying to get clear on something. There's been dissatisfaction, hurt feelings, does feel like a lot around relationships here, and it just feels like the message is things are not as bleak as they appear to be, because we are also here with that Ace of Swords energy, and again, that is about a new beginning. It's a clear beginning. It's something that is more ideas oriented, so you might be doing something that is requiring a lot of mental agility. So again, this could be anything with writing, or a breakthrough moment or a new idea. But it definitely speaks to something that is very logical, direct, and very powerful mental state that is starting to clear here. And again, not only is the ace a new beginning, but it is somebody who's very intellectually minded. So anything that they do, they really put a lot of thinking behind it. So I feel like when this combination shows up, this is the area of your mind that you're healing. This is what you're healing. Is there's something around relationships, but definitely something around the mind here as well that's starting to peel away the layers and get to the core truth of things, right? And this is where you're awakening to your own mental powers. So whether you felt like you had something kind of locked in or not, you're resolving a problem. You're resolving a problem here. That Ace of Swords is you resolving a problem. You're understanding what's coming to you, and you're peeling away the layers of the situation. And you're getting right to the core of the problem. So again, you start to see new techniques. You start to have, clearer thinking, and then you can implement better plans going forward. So again, it's resolving misunderstanding, even though I still see a lot of moodiness that's kind of in this read here. But again, it's getting better and better and better for you, because you are thinking clearer and clearer as you go through the month. And again, you might be finding ways to release the pressure, those pent up emotions and that kind of thing, because that is what the swords is trying to break away from things. But again, there's just so much energy here about making a decision and thinking clear. So Ace of Swords, you're definitely in a good spot here. And the last one, well, actually, just about. The last one out here is, again, this is what you fear, and they're all positive things. You're actually fearing really amazing positive cards. Like you're fearing something that could be mother figure here as well, or could be abundance. You're fearing, things that would not generally be looked at as something, and these are good cards. So this means something further out is going to be opening up for you as well. But I mean, even with the advice card of like looking at that Five of Cups, actually, I guess that was the Four of Cups there. But either way, it's still looking at your life in regret and disappointment. But you have so much here that actually indicates that acknowledge those emotions. It's okay to feel upset about something not working out, to stay there too long. And again, it's not about, sure, something might have felt good in the moment, but there's also more out there to be explored. That's not the be all end all of anything. You have to look for hidden opportunities. There's something positive in things that just because you haven't noticed it doesn't mean it's not there, and it could be standing right in front of you. So it's things along that line, finding hope in a new direction and in unexpected places. And I kind of get the feeling that's sort of where we're going with this for the month of February. It feels like you're doing something a little different, trying something different out of your normal routine to help you to move forward and heal. So there's something here about, again, learning to accept what's happened and kind of move on with a sense of clarity, purpose, all of that. Again, the advice cards would be, don't, when we're kind of looking back here, the advice really, you can't have control over everything in your life to move forward. So you have to kind of embrace a little of the unknown, and the past can't be changed. So you have to find a way to accept it. Talk yourself down. Find a way to be triggered less. As a matter of fact, you can even test yourself. Whatever triggers you, put yourself in a situation where you will be triggered and test yourself. talk yourself down. Even if somebody is deliberately trying to be an a-hole or whatever, the whole point is to try to, how do you maintain your calm? How do you maintain your sense of space and clarity? Because it's, how do you live in society without draining yourself? Because life has nothing but things to drain you. So, put your energy behind the things that matter. And again, so much here about, mental clarity, all of that, communicating wisely. And that means communicating just what you want to be known, express yourself clearly and with, assertively. Like it's more, that's how I feel like you're dealing this month, acting with integrity. There's just a lot more of you aligning your principles and values into the month. I don't feel like you're taking the easy way out by any stretch. You do a lot of hard thinking in this month. But there's also, the energy with the star, again, staying hopeful and optimistic, encouraging you to be a lot more hopeful despite the challenges. Life is nothing but challenges. So how do you deal with the challenges? You have to be strong. That means you have to know who you are. You have to be able to, go through the tough times emotionally, and they will be emotional and mental tests. Because it's just a reminder, nurture yourself first, then trust the process of recovery. But definitely trusting your intuition. You're very deeply connected to the subconscious and that higher wisdom, especially with the moon and the high priestess. And you're really embracing your more authentic self. And I feel like that's where all your potential is, especially with the Empress showing up here. So these are the things you fear, and you've got all this self-doubt. But here you have all these cards of, true purpose. Things are aligning for you. You have a deeper connection to the universe. You're on the right path. There's independence here. There's wealth here. Like you're in the space of all the things that most people want, and yet you're identifying it as to your advantage. So again, I feel like you fear being emotionally open, but again, by expressing yourself a little bit in some of the ways that you're afraid, doesn't have to be throwing everything out on the table. This is going to help you to deal with, what if you were rejected? So what? Next. Don't, you can't personalize it just because somebody didn't like everything about you. Maybe they didn't like everything about themselves, and you were just a mirror image of that. Two wrongs can't make a right. Like it's there's so many factors that we can't personalize everything like that. Also, there's something here about, even with the Fool cards, that fear of being immature or emotionally vulnerable, worried about not being able to be taken seriously, feeling like you're coming off as too innocent or something like that. But really, it's more about being integral, being the person, the most authentic version of yourself. Be the best version of who you need to be, because then you'll never fall short. Because even if somebody does reject that, it doesn't matter, because you are still acting you're congruent with who you see yourself to be. So the message here, again, very strongly coming through, is you've got some new emotional opportunities coming in the month of February, and I feel like you might be starting a new relationship, or something is opening you up in that way. So again, younger person is coming through, but we also have some mature energy. And I definitely feel like you will be able to embrace more of that emotional world this month. And I feel like you are going to be facing more of your feelings rather than avoidance. I do feel like there's a chance for you to, again, develop more emotional experiences in this month. And it's definitely a good time for you to reflect on being emotionally open. And I think you're going to do this by doing some different activities. You won't be resisting some of the things that you would have otherwise resisted. So again, maybe you're going to be exercising and you didn't exercise before. Maybe you're going to meditate and you meditate before, but there's something along that line of doing something different, than what you had before. So despite all of this fear that you have of being, too independent, or being too successful, or being, lonely in this achievements, or in achievements, things like that, it feels like you're fearing so much that you're forgetting that even if you, and I'm going to take it to the far extreme, even if you were by yourself and you had all of these things, think of the experiences you could open yourself up to. Mother Teresa, you know, I don't know that she's even married. I don't know her whole story there, but you know, like there, a person becomes known for the work that they do, and it doesn't mean their professional standing necessarily. But when you are someone who lives in your truth, that is what people remember about you. Whether they liked you or disliked you, they will always remember this person was true to who they are. So again, there's just a lot here I feel that is going to be super empowering for you in this month. Even though you fear being too emotional, fear like, you know, fearing that you won't be able to be in control of yourself. And again, baby steps. Do, you know, put yourself in a triggering situation for you, you know, identify your top 10 triggers or whatever, and then kind of work on them individually, you know, and you eventually feel like you're desensitized to, you know, and talking yourself down through those situations, you know, because it's okay to be uncomfortable. You know, we're not supposed to be comfortable when you're going through, when you're in the midst of change. So again, the more flexible you are, the easier it is for you to live through life. Creativity, especially creativity, creates more solutions for you than being rigid. When you're creative, you look at a situation from 15, 20 different angles and resolve it faster than somebody who's looking at two options and how to make those two options, you know, fix the gaps. Like it just doesn't work that way. But I do feel like you've got a lot of fears here to kind of work through. But again, you're still very closed energy here, despite there's some kind of communication that's coming through here. And again, I still feel like there's some younger person here that's coming in here. There's wise energy, supportive energy, and there's also something here with, yeah, something here about just being seen as, you know, not being taken seriously. There is definitely a connection here. Again, there's Gemini energy here as well, strong, about going forward in a certain direction. There's kind of a flirty energy around there as well. I do feel like there has been something here that's been a hard-won battle. Nobody's ever really, you know, gained in this situation. There is still a lot of, you know, water sign, I believe you here in this energy. There's just a lot still here, but I just want you to, again, repeating cards even with the strength, but I want you to look at the last two cards here, because these ones seem to be the ones that stand out the most. The Three of Swords, conflict, heartache, you know, having difficulty with, you know, trying to reach out to someone. You know, maybe you acted too quickly or made a decision too quickly. There wasn't a lot of planning with something, because that Knight of Wands was here. You know, and it feels like you were so excited, and it was like a little bit of a burnout because of that reckless situation, and it actually kind of, you might have taken a bit of hit because of that. But either way, what I see here is there is a victory. So there is something that you are actually overcoming, and this is overcoming heartbreak. This is overcoming, you know, something that you had commitment around. This is whatever the wrong choice is. It feels like you are feeling like you are able to heal a part of that aspect of yourself and choose a direction. You will have less fear of emotional vulnerability when you know, overcome an uncertainty in a relationship, right? So but either way, I feel like there might have been, sorry guys, there's some people outside. Either way, there's some kind of difficulty that might have been in making a decision in a connection here because of that. But it's almost like you made a hasty bad move in a situation which resulted in, you know, kind of a back scenario. So some kind of big decision that you made didn't go quite as you expected, which is fine. I mean, we're here to make mistakes, you know, but either way, unhealthy connection led to an imbalance for you, and it's, you know, kind of giving you a bit of a fear of commitment or being vulnerable again. So, but even the Three of Wands sitting here as a fear, you know, that is also about, it's a little difficult to look ahead and try to think about expanding in that area with someone, you know, because you would have to put some effort behind it. And there's still that anxiety around, you know, also the waiting period that's involved. You're not making progress as quickly as you might like for something here. And again, you know, if you're at the risk of moving forward, life is going to throw you in a situation where you'll be forced to make a decision and get out of your comfort zone. So make choice yourself to improve incrementally so that when change does come, it's less of a jarring experience and not a tower moment. It's more of a shift in the direction that you needed to learn something from. So don't wait too long to take action to build yourself up. But I do see some kind of, move here that does speak to, things that are a lot less complicated here because you have had a victory over some hurt or heartbreak. So again, there's something here that still speaks to dealing with the present challenge. And I definitely feel like you're going to be able to move ahead with less complication going forward. Not without the problems, because you got a lot of heavy energy here, but I still feel like it's going in the right direction. That's what I have for you, Cancer. It's looking very good, and you're one of those people that for sure stands in your own way. But as we all do at some point. But right now, in the month of February, I do see some progress and some effort being made. So keep moving forward and do not give up. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions here. I also just wanted to pull 2 quick cards for advice. Advice for Cancer in the month of February. Advice for Cancer in the month of February. Advice for Cancer in the month of February. Okay, ground and move. So, ground. It is time to ground and center your energy. Be truly present in your life. Makes perfect sense. Move. Get up, get active. Try gentle exercise such as yoga, Tai Chi, or Pilates. And that seems to go in the same sort of vein of what I felt was happening there for you. We'll do one more of a different deck for advice as well, and this one is the Aboriginal Dreaming cards. Okay, best advice for Cancer in the month of February. Best advice. Best advice. Decisions. It's your decision whether you keep this up or let it go, but continuing will not change the circumstances or the outcome. So in other words, you can take control of your destiny, or it will be controlled for you. Either way, you're going to be forced to move and do something to build yourself up. By the way, that was the card of joy that flew out there. But last one, let's just pull the next one here. Advice. Persuasion. It's all about how you see the situation. If you're looking for negatives, you will find them because there are many. But try concentrating on the positives. There are plenty of those too. Okay, that sounds excellent. And the card below, by the way, is calm. Breathe, heal your tired body, and allow your spirit to find peace. Without harmony, your healing journey will take much longer. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to answer some few more questions there. Oh, Joby, you said you're in your own way. Yeah, we all do at some point, for sure. You had a very strange experience. Sorry, I'm just trying to read your comments. You stayed away from watching tarot readings for a while, and then you got shock back in August 2021, the Lionsgate portal. Wow. And Joby, your Cancer is Cancer water sign. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. That my voice is calming. I appreciate that. Others might differ, but I tend to be a bit hyper. Oh, and you married a narcissist. That seems to be going around. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there, I'll tell you that. That's a hard one to heal from, too. Because you can't win. They literally use they obtain as much information as they can about you, and then they just basically use it against you and twist the words, so everything is always, you're just fighting yourself, basically, so it's not even worth engaging. They say pull your energy away from that kind of scenario to best deal with it. You'll never be able to outmaneuver them as far as rationalizing or anything like that. You can't win an argument with them because their arguments aren't rational. What else do we have there? Okay. So I didn't see a direct question, but I will maybe pull a few cards here as well and just see. I'm just going through on Devancha's. Oh, Devancha, you are a total doll. She called me sweet. I love that. Okay, let's see here. Oh, you're not able to see the cards. Sorry, guys. I kind of do things very well. Okay, I'll try to pull this forward more. Okay. Well, let's just see, Joby. I'm going to see what. Let's just ask some of the cards here for you, as far as what's coming in terms of relationships. So, and then we'll also do Devancha. Okay, so Joby, what is? You're scared of a new routine, or you were used to a routine. And sorry, just reading through again. Okay, so I'm going to do Devancha's here too. So, okay, so Joby, I'm just going to see what's first coming in for you in the immediate. What's coming in for Joby? Because I'm going to spend a little more time on yours, Devancha, and see what comes through. Just because I didn't do much with the other deck with yours. So we'll try the other deck too. Okay, so Joby, what is coming in for Joby in the month of February? What will Joby be dealing with in the month of February? Main energies out. February. Yeah, healing mode for sure. Ooh, interesting. Incoming happiness. Let's ask what that's about. What is the immediate energy of fast incoming Two of Wands, or sorry, Eight of Wands? Why is the Eight of Wands here? Why is the Eight of Wands here? Why is the Eight of Wands here for Joby? Your new direction. You're just about to step forward into something. Why is the Ten of Cups here? Something that you want for sure. Something around family. Ah, there's a hidden element here. There's a hidden element around a connection. Something here has not yet been revealed. I don't know what that is yet. Let's ask another thing. What is the star? What is the star energy? What is the star energy? Well, you're definitely confused. There's still a lot going on here in terms of what's happening in terms of your healing. But why is the Ten of Cups here? Why is the Ten of Cups here? And what is that hidden element with the connection? What is that hidden element with the connection and the Ten of Cups? Something from the past. Well, I'm going to ask, is it the narcissist? Is the narcissist coming back? Is the narcissist coming back, or is this somebody new? No, it feels like this somebody new. What is the Magician? What is the Magician? Oh, wait. Okay, so the Magician, there's heartbreak around that. That could be manipulation in that instance. What is this Six of Cups energy? Six of Cups energy. Someone from the past, possibly childhood friend? Okay, well, there has been disappointment in the connection, but even at the bottom of the deck is the Hierophant. So, I mean, this tells me that there is definitely long-term, strong commitment. This is like, there's a big commitment coming in for you, and it's definitely what you want. You're really worried about it, but it's coming in. It's coming in. Your new direction is coming in quicker than you think, but you're still going through a really big healing process. But it feels like you already know this person from childhood, and it's something that's going to be a huge long-term situation. What is the Ten of Cups with? What's hidden? What is hidden here with the High Priestess? It could be a Taurus, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And I also have Libra and Aquarius that are kind of bouncing out here. I'm not going to take it and pull all the cards forward, but they did show up. But I'm getting a lot of women in this picture for some reason. Family energy is strong. What is hidden? 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 Okay, we'll get right into it here in just a second. Okay, so again, all right, I've also got Three of Cups energy. I really feel like there is something coming in for you that is, it's coming up pretty quick, and it almost feels like it's going to be, again, a family event or something that's going to be somebody like friends gathering from the past, that kind of, it's like a social event of some sort. You have, whoever this is, I feel like you know who this is, but the Ten of Cups and the Hierophant, or the High Priestess, sorry, it definitely speaks to me as, you know, something that you would have been unaware of. So I would say that someone has not revealed that they have some kind of liking for you, something like that. But I definitely feel like there is something here around some kind of event involving family is coming up here pretty quick. And it is going to bring you significant spiritual, personal fulfillment. It's almost like there is some kind of unspoken understanding in a connection that I would take away from this, but it's definitely emotional fulfillment, even on an instinctual level, where there's kind of like an inner wisdom, an inner knowing between the two of you, like an unspoken connection. I just feel like it doesn't even need to be a connection where, you know, there's words. It's like you have an understanding of this person, whoever this is that's coming in, and it's like you're very, very close to this situation. It's going to be a very fulfilling, nurturing relationship, something where you're going very deep into this other person, but you do have a mutual understanding of this person. Like I said, this is a very different connection, I would say, compared to what you had. But it definitely is kind of that blending of, you know, your emotional well-being. You're really deeply connected to peace and happiness with this person. They have sort of the same kind of values, the things that you also tend toward. But it's definitely, you know, it's just definitely something here about a sense of real connection, peace, and it feels like there's more emotional connection than you've ever had, because this is really something that is going to like completely unite you. Feels like it's somebody from the past here too. And again, it feels like that you're going to end up with marrying, that kind of thing, because your home life is really strong. There's personal happiness with that card. And again, it's like there's a deeper knowing of each other. And it's almost like you didn't even realize this person had any attraction to you, but it's something along that line. So it feels like it is, yeah, something that you don't see coming, but you're going to be very connected to this person. The only thing I would sort of warn is that you're still in the healing mode, especially with Star and the Seven of Cups. Again, that's still energy that tells me that's energy that still tells me that you're still kind of working on your own well-being. So again, you know, taking it slow possibly is really a good, but you know, a good way to go. But it's you're healing through decisions. You know, you're making a choice to heal. It's difficult, things are still unclear. You're trying to get a sense of direction here to heal. And I just would say that be cautious. Don't get caught up in fantasies or false promises, that kind of thing, because of that combination right there. But it feels like you are going to be aligning to your higher purpose or having more of a goal here as well, because you're definitely moving in a particular direction to going forward with the Two of Wands. So I just feel like you're still in that space of, you know, trying to, you've got guidance, you have faith, but again, there's also a lot of fantasy around all of that. So again, you're being guided on the right path, Just let things unfold in time, because the combination still speaks to promise and healing in the right direction. Just be focused on what truly matters for you at this time. So one thing at a time, even though I feel great things are coming in for you. You have an amazing connection, that is just around the corner. Because like I said, the new direction, you're just on the precipice of that. I mean, the fact that Eight of Wands, this could be like new communication or quick communication here, coming in pretty quick. But either way, there's action and there's movement, especially even with the with the Two of Wands. So there's going to be some kind of immediate, swift, rapid progress in a situation, and it just feels like it's a decision, to kind of move ahead. Again, taking action on an opportunity, possibly travel or relocation, but either way, there's some kind of communication, and I just feel like that's going to be which helps you to make a decision. So yeah, either way, I mean, it's once you make that decision, everything else opens up in regards to a connection. And I still feel like it's something that you don't really, it's somebody you feel like but again, it feels like it's someone from the past. But the fact is that I don't think you felt you were going to have quite a connection to them, and you definitely didn't know that they existed. But you have more than just a happy connection. You have an understanding of, again, unspoken words. Okay, let's just get right in there now for Devansha. All right. Okay, so let's see what is happening for Devansha as far as PhD, and just want to see what else is coming towards. Okay. PhD and love life. What is coming in for Devansha in terms of PhD and love life? What is coming in for Devansha in terms of PhD and love life? Okay. What's coming in for Devansha in terms of PhD and love life? Well, definitely a victory coming through. A victory in what? Okay. Aries, Gemini, Libra energy, or Aquarius rather, air sign. What is that? Okay, why is the Ace of Cups here? Is this about money or a relationship? What is the Ace of Cups? What is the Ace of Cups? You have something coming in really soon here, Devansha, that's going to be a blessing to you. You've got a little bit of a conquering energy. Something is putting, oh my gosh, yeah. What is the Chariot? Things are hugely moving ahead for you as far as your ambitions. What is the Chariot? And why? Okay, in terms of love life, what is coming in for love life? Love life for Devansha. Love life for Devansha. Okay, why the Five of Swords? What's coming in for love life? All right, I'm still getting two energies even around the love life. Again, Knight of Pentacles, and we also have Page of Wands. I'm going to go back to that one here. And again, just on the bottom here as well, there's also the Empress and the Emperor. So I feel like that's a good combination. So I don't know if there's, but anyway, we'll go back to that one here in a second. So we'll kind of keep love life separate here for a minute. And I'm just going to pull two more cards. What is the main energy coming out for Devansha in terms of PhD? In terms of her PhD, what is it that she would be needing to focus on with the PhD? For Devansha, coming in with PhD, motivating, and what? Oh, and love life. What's happening for love life? Understanding of, wow, okay. Interesting. All right, so so I'll start off with just where we're at right now with the six. Okay, so the Six of Wands and the King of Swords. Now that is mature energy for sure, but it feels more contractual. So I feel like you might have a contract or something that's coming in here that is really going to be of an advantage to you. It's like you've got some kind of a victory coming in here. I'll start with that one. It's like you've got, maybe I'll pull it over to the side there, that way. Okay, so it's like you've got a victory coming in here. And again, it's public recognition, but there's a lot of energy here, Devansha, about you being a leader, a motivator, somebody who is really going to, take the initiative. So whatever that is coming in for you, I really feel like it's going to give you a lot of, public acclaim, or you're going to be in a limelight sort of situation. You're going to be some kind of front and center kind of a person in terms of your PhD. And I feel like you really have a strong sense of, where you'll be headed. It's a really powerful combination to have the Six of Wands as well as the King of Swords. So again, there's something here about, a clear, decisive action, a decision that you made. And it's more of, it's putting you in a position of leadership. And again, there's something here about you're going to be recognized. It's like a professional milestone of some sort in a challenging situation. So there's something here where you're thinking, you're making a strong decision to go forward in something, but it's a very well thought out, rational decision. So whatever that is for you, I feel like quite strategic, and you're really making a smart move, because you're thinking critically to whatever is coming up here. And it's like a contract of some sort, and I feel like you might be negotiating something there to your advantage. But it feels like you're achieving success, and it's putting you in a really good position. So either way, there's a lot of self-assurance, a lot of confidence, a lot of leadership energy here, and I feel like you can really assert yourself in whatever role that you're doing here. Because it's really putting you in a situation where you're going to be able to clearly communicate whatever whatever the position is. You are in a strong position to speak, write, or present ideas, and a leader in a way of you're the main person, you're the person that people kind of go to. So your abilities are really shining through. Whatever it is that this success is, you're in the leadership position. And then the next part of it here, it just feels like, again, you're the one that people go to for whatever the situation is there. And again, you might have had to negotiate something here because of that victory card. Ace of Cups and Nine of Pentacles. It is definitely excellent money, and this is a job offer, sure. It's like a blessing. Something's coming through for you that is going to make a huge difference in your life on a personal achievement, level, as well as emotionally. Very incredibly positive cards, all of them for you, especially with your career. I feel like you will have, a lot of hard work, but a lot of self-sufficiency that comes through with that. It's material wealth, it's success, anything with that Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. I mean, that is just, yeah, you feeling very secure and independent. So I feel like there's a lot of peace that's coming through, because there's a lot of personal growth that also comes from, your emotional satisfaction is brought about from the hard work. And of course, you've got external resources that start to build up that solid foundation, which gives you more confidence and blah, 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 all the rest of it. So you've got self-love, personal growth, new phase of emotional and material wealth here. I mean, it's just incredible. These are just amazing cards. That's a really good balance. And it feels like the love and the success are coming together almost at the same time. Because this can also be like a new romantic period of emotional growth, but also, you're not compromising your standards or your personal achievements with that Nine of Pentacles. So I just feel like there's an emotional renewal, which is leading to more independence here as well. And a lot of, just a lot of really good energy that's balanced and filled with growth. And again, there's two things coming in here very soon for you. It is a victory. There's a job offer or something here pretty quick. And then you you make a decision after a period of feeling overwhelmed, burdened, stuck. feeling like you just couldn't go forward, like there was just a lot of push through here, but you've done it, because that Chariot card, follow up with abundance, it's material success. You've got control. Now, the cards that I'm pulling out right now, outside of the Chariot more ambitious oriented, but I want to just show you that the cards for love that are coming out here are the Empress as well as the Emperor. So it feels like I've got mature energy here. So I don't know if this is you or a very strong, mature couple coming in, possibly giving you advice, or again, you end up being that. Because here's the thing, I see Taurus energy. I feel like this is probably you, even though I know you're a Leo, but I'm seeing nurturing, caring, with the Queen of Pentacles. We've still got that same two energies coming through, again, with foundation. One of these situations, it's like, there's been no real solid win around the love front. So it feels like you've got two options still, though. Again, you've got the Knight of Pentacles. You also have the Page of Wands. So there's someone here that kind of represents as, the free spirit, and somebody who really is coming through as, exciting and adventurous and all of that, right? I mean, that's Page of Wands is. This is somebody who is carefree and fun and really entertains us, but it's an exciting new beginning in love either way. So there's also the other energy of the person who is slow, methodical, practical, makes good decisions with their money, and is further out. So that one is coming in. That's somebody who really, makes a plan and sticks to it. But I still feel like there's a lot of sparks and excitement here with the Page of energy, but someone else is also here. So you might be entertaining both at this time, but right now, it feels like over the long haul, like this is exploration, and the other one feels like it's more long haul energy. So I don't know, it just feels like you still have a choice. But either way, there could be some kind of matrimony in the works here. So there is something around, um, I don't know, family, foundation, connection, but this is also the marriage card. So I do feel, I'm next to High Priestess or whatever, well, a Hierophant rather, but I still feel like this is the energy of somebody who kind of stirs and excites you, and they're fun, and there's, lots of just kind of playful, joyful, sort of energy. So I don't know if this is somebody who's around you right now, but it definitely is exploring somebody's passions and, somebody who's kind of, enthusiastic. It's just a period of having fun. And I just feel like there's also some kind of a message, though, that, this is youthful energy, but the message is coming through that this Knight of Pentacles is also coming in here. So it feels like there could even be an overlap between the two as far as how that connection unravels. Because the Knight of Pentacles, like I said, this is somebody who's really careful, methodical, does not, not rash moves, makes a plan and invests their money and invests in people, you know. They're a lot more dependable energy and steady, reliable, all of that, completely contrasting with this other person. So slow, steady progress in terms of a relationship. So this is somebody I feel is the security and long-term growth for you. And again, this is someone that you're investing in. They pay attention to the detail, even in love, they're patient, they're consistent. The other one is fun and maybe adventurous for right now, but I feel like this is the person over the long haul that's going to be your go-to person. This is somebody you're committed to down the road here. And I did pull just a couple of other cards here again. Just as far as this one's more about your ambitions. But as far as the ambition energy goes here, and again, I did indicate that this was still that energy of you being a leader, because it is repeatedly showing up here. Like I said, the Queen of Roses really speaks to somebody who is, a mature energy, somebody that comes through as nurturing and caring and all of that, but it's a lead energy. So irregardless, I feel like you're going to be in that position, like I said, as you're going to be able to attract people, you're skilled, you've got great managerial sort of creative sort of energy here as well. But it's like, secrets or information that other people don't, and it's making you a lot more independent and certainly a lot more popular. And I also feel like that energy is creating more of a social life for you. You know, you're drawing a lot more attention to you. I feel like you're having more fun. You're going to also be in that space where you feel like you can do things, and there's going to be a busier schedule up ahead for you. But it does inspire you, and it's putting you into a really positive headspace, and it's going to help you to manifest things because you're in a good headspace. So use your connections to get things done, basically. And I just feel like you're just going to take off, you know, from this space because you're in a place where you're around minded people and they do appreciate you. The other part here with the King of Roses, again, that's the motivator, and it just feels like, you know, you could be working with somebody else here as well, but I feel like this is you because this is somebody who does get distracted. They've got a lot of, they manage a lot of different things at one time. And I feel like that's where your expertise is coming in here, because you're going to be in that space of having to look after a lot. And I feel like, you know, you're somebody who actually is quite intellectual. And I think that you're going to be able to, you do things, you know, you really get things done. There is a certain sense of honesty about you as well. And I think that that's going to help you to, I think that's going to be the thing that actually helps you to sort of map things out, you know, because you, like I said, you're in a really good space where people are starting to put their faith into you. And it just feels like there's just a lot more trust. People trust you implicitly. Like there's a really strong trust in your work atmosphere. The World card, of course, is the ultimate success. That is definitely completing a cycle. It's definitely a longer term cycle, and it certainly is kind of speaking to having a good sense of, you know, job well done, you know, having a really good sense of a major milestone that you've accomplished. And again, that would be a degree, a sense of some kind of achievement along that, as well as anything that could be spiritual, physical, mental, whatever it is for you. But it definitely is a major event, a milestone event. So I just feel like I said, you're putting yourself in a position now where you're going to be able to really push forward. And it's going to be a lot of responsibility coming up ahead here for you, but you're going to be in a really good position. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to be in a really good position, and you might even be promoted very quickly up through ranks here, but you are really developing a lot of trust between the people that are around you in your workspace. Okay, and just in terms of the love section here, okay, so we start off with the King of Wings. We do also have the High Priestess. I'll go through, I'll go through in this order. Well, let's just do it this way first. Okay, I do feel like there is some kind of information that's going to be coming into you here, like I said, in terms of your love life in this next little bit here. Like I said, it feels like you've got more than one option here as well. The King of Wings is definitely somebody who is the more mature kind of energy here, but it definitely speaks to somebody who has the ability to, it's more of a professional atmosphere with the King of Wings. So again, there's something here about, could be even lawyer, but somebody who enforces laws is what the card represents. So it could be lawyer, but it's definitely somebody who's really involved in the community. Again, maybe even political, like some kind of diplomat or something like that here. But there's something here about, you know, representing the community, and definitely somebody who enforces laws. That's what that card represents. So it is definitely, again, someone who really has a lot of common sense, solves problems, you know, that kind of thing. Very educated person, lot of knowledge with this person. And like I said, I felt like you've got more than one person that's kind of in the mix here, but this is somebody who really likes control and stays focused. And again, I think there's going to be definite chemistry between the two of you because of that intellectual, mature air of authority. And I feel like the person's quite attractive as well. And I think that they're a good teacher for you in some way. We also have the High Priestess, and again, there's information that's just not fully revealed here with the High Priestess. But again, it's still a really good card that speaks to the unknown elements. Somebody comes off a little bit more aloof than the other. So, follow your intuition, all of that. But it definitely kind of speaks to, in terms of like a love angle, it would be somebody who is kind of relying on, how would I say, somebody who's, it's like, it's almost like if you want to push something ahead, you can't with this card because it really slows it down. I mean, for sure it's following your intuition, all of that, but it's like you can't push it ahead because there's some things that have to line up here before something can even happen. But it's almost like, relax and just let things unfold is really what it speaks to. So again, whether you meet this person, in a religious area or in a work sphere, but it just feels like this is, it's just a space where you're just going to have to listen, because something isn't going to be coming through in quite the way you expect it to. But I just feel like it's still really good energy around something that's going to be a really powerful union. And again, there's just something of the unknown here that we just can't figure out yet. Because even with the card of the Strength, sorry, just trying to adjust it a bit there. But even with the card of Strength, that's just pushing through a scenario. So, I mean, you've got a lot of passion with this person. There's a lot of attraction. But the Strength card definitely speaks to, things. Number 8, that's the infinity sign. That is somebody who has a really good understanding. Even the High Priestess, that's all 4 queens. So it's really having positive energy to kind of make a really strong connection. There's really true strength, mentally, emotionally, physically, because that's a really strong card. So there's a lot of things that hook up, even on a spiritual level with this other person. And I just feel like there is that deep understanding as well of, this person, and you're going to be able to sort of communicate and share those moments, because there's a strong compassion again to express yourself, but there's also a really enduring quality about the strength of this card. So, like I said, I just feel like there's something there about establishing a really strong relationship with somebody on multiple levels, layers and layers with that one. Prince of Shells, that one is again still sort of like that younger energy that's coming through here. It feels like this one is somebody a little bit more separate, because this is the Charmer. This is that King of Wands kind of, or that Page of Wands energy. This is that person who has the ability to, entertain you and pleasure you and all of that kind of thing. Mr. Don Juan, it's, all of that. He's not somebody who holds back. Very unrestricted, may not have a lot of goals, but definitely, looks at things in a very poetic way or sees life in a very unique way. But definitely very imaginative and somebody who is, more physical, I would say, probably there as well. And then when we get to the Queen of Gems, you still have for sure a lot of these repeating cards. Like it's, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious you have a choice. But even with the Queen of Gems, like this is somebody who for sure is in that space of, I think this represents you actually, because it is the nurturer. It is somebody who's supportive and, concerned about family and values and all things of value, and definitely somebody who's, loves knowledge and acquiring, information, sharing their feelings, taking charge, but trying to build up a connection with somebody in a, in a social way, but also in that space of nurturing dreams and, keeping the home fronts, looked after and maintained. It's kind of somebody who does it all, really. And then we also have the Two of Shells. So the Two of Shells is, of course, what we're asking about, which is romance. So, like I said, you have a lot of energy here around both areas of your life there. with romance. And so this one is two hearts can beat as one, as the card depicts. But it says if you're alone, you know, there's going to be something you're going to be able to commit yourself to. So again, this is that supportive romantic relationship. There's a lot of reciprocated feelings, good conversations, a lot of attraction, all of that. And again, so many repeating cards there. You definitely have, you've got a choice here. You have a definite choice. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, Devansha. I love to see you guys, and thank you always, Devansha, for support. Totally appreciate that. But anyway, I'm going to head to bed. I have to work tomorrow. So keep moving forward, guys. Never give up. I will do another read here over the weekend. And until next time.